Now, in an earlier video and in one of our earlier steps, we went into project information. We went to project in the ribbon and we went to the project information button. And at that point, we accepted the standard calendar. And now I want to look at the standard calendar or the project calendar in more detail. And I want to customize it. So I'm just going to cancel out of there. The first thing I want to look at is here on my Gantt chart, I can easily see that I don't work Saturdays and Sundays at the moment according to my standard calendar. Well, let's say I do work Saturday, so I need to customize my project calendar. For this, we go to Project in the ribbon, and in the Properties group, we choose the Change Working Time button. When I go into the Change Working Time button, it also says at the top here that I have a project calendar, which is a standard calendar, and at this point in time I could change it to a 24-hour calendar if it's a project that works 24/7, or, and if I just click that, you can see that's 24/7, Saturday and Sunday are working from midnight to midnight, whereas the standard calendar, we're only working Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday are grey, which is non-working, and these are the hours as I click around that it thinks we work, from 8 till 12 and 1 till 5. So you can check out what a standard calendar means, you can check out what a 24-hour calendar means, and you can even check out what a night shift calendar means. Now all of these calendars can be customized, so I'm going to go back to my standard calendar, except of course the 24/7 one, because that's just 24/7. I'm going to customize the days and the hours that I work for my standard calendar. So I've got standard chosen at the top here. I then choose work weeks down here, and then I click the details button on the far right. Now I could customize each day, but basically I work Monday to Saturday the same hours. So you could click on Monday and set up its working times. You could click on Tuesday and set up its working times if you had varying times per day. But if you're going to work the same times for these 6 days, I'm going to select Monday to Saturday, and I'll choose this option here to set these days to specific working times. Now I don't work 8 a.m. I want to edit this. Now you can click, or you can press the function key F2. The function key F2 sometimes makes it a lot easier to just edit rather than clicking and clicking. Don't get rid of what's in there. You have to stay with the date or the time format that's in there. Some of you will be on machines that have a clock setting of 24 hours. So you'll see 08:00 and no AM, in which case stay with that. And you won't see sort of like 5 p.m., you'll actually see 1700. Whatever your time format is, stay with it, otherwise Project doesn't like it. So I'm going to edit this to say 7 a.m. I'm going to allow them an hour for lunch. That may vary during the day, but in theory there's an hour there for lunch, and they finish at 5. So from 7 till 12 and 1 till 5, and I click OK, and that's Monday to Saturday. Now you can see there's no grey applied to the Saturday, so it's now working. And as I click around any white days, which are working days, here it tells me the times that I work. And if I clicked on a Sunday, it says it's non-working. So you basically go to work weeks, you go to details, you choose a day or a collection of days, and you set those days to specific times. And that's how you set your working days and your working times. Now if I go OK again, you can see that only the Sunday now is a vertical grey bar, and it's only Sundays that are non-working. Now it's really important, if I go back into change working time, that whatever you set as your working hours actually balances what's in the options button. Really, really important, otherwise you will have problems straight away. So having set up my work days and my work hours, I then go to the options button and I make sure that that balance is in here. And see, for some reason it's gone to 8 a.m, so I have to change that to 7 a.m. till 5 p.m, which is a 9-hour day and a 54-hour week. Make sure they balance. Also, I'm going to make sure that tasks are automatically scheduled for this project, and I'm going to go OK. And OK again. So just make sure that your change working time, working days and hours balances with what's in your options button settings. Now, as far as non-working days, okay, those are Sundays, but maybe we've got some public holidays as well. I'm going to go back to change working time, And to set up public holidays, there's a variety of ways, and I find the easiest way is just to go to that date. So let's say we go to Boxing Day. So I'm going to go down to December. I'm going to click on the 26th, and actually on the 25th. I'm going to click on the 25th. I'm going to click under name, and I'm going to type Christmas Day. As soon as I press enter, it pulls through the 25th. If I then click on the 26th, click under Christmas Day and put Boxing Day, as soon as I press enter, it pulls through the 26th. So the idea is go through and mark the public holidays for, say, the next year, 5 years, or even 10 years. And then you'll have those all set up. Because the whole idea here is I'd like to encourage you to make a template where if you have to create a project, a maintenance contract project, you would then just open a template and the calendar would already be set up, the public holidays would already be set up. So I would totally encourage you to go and put the public holidays in. For example, I might add some more. If I go back to, say, October, and I'll go the 23rd of October, I'm going to put that as Labour Day. In New Zealand, we have Labour Day, which for us is usually the last week of October. So I'm going to choose that. And let's say we do Queen's birthday as well, which is coming up for us very quickly. So I'm going to choose the 5th of June, and I'm going to make that Queen's birthday. So for some clients, I actually put in the public holidays for the next 10 years so that they don't have to worry about that being set up. It's already done. And I'll go OK. So we've put those in. Now here you can see there's Queen's birthday, the 5th of June. And if I was to scroll to the right, as soon as I hit October, you'll see the Labour Day that I put in. And here it comes now. So there's a Labour Day sitting there. And if I continue through to December, you'll eventually see Christmas Day and Boxing Day. And so here we have Christmas Day and Boxing Day. So set up your working days, set up your working times, and set up your non-working days. And if you're looking for a place to find the public holidays in New Zealand for, say, the next so many years, I would recommend probably the internet, and I'd recommend probably the New Zealand Employment Relations Service website, because they have the public holidays and when they'll be observed, especially with the Monday-ising of public holidays in New Zealand in the last few years. Now the next thing is the time scale. That's this thing across the top of the Gantt. This time scale is currently showing me days, MTWTFSS, and it's showing me a week. This has got 2 tiers technically. If I double click this time scale, I can see here there's 2 tiers. There's a middle tier and a bottom tier. If I look at the bottom tier by clicking up here, the bottom tier is in the units of days and is labelled MTW and 1 day at a time, and they're centred within their sections, and it's 100%. One of the things that people like to do is perhaps reduce the percentage to squeeze more on the screen. So I can reduce the percentage, and you can see how it's getting tighter. And I could probably take it down to 70%. And if I click OK, I actually see almost another week and a half on my screen. If I double click the time scale again, so it could be as simple change as that, or it can be quite a big change. Let me give you an example that I regularly see. I'm going to change it from 2 tiers to 3 tiers. I'm going to change the top tier. I'm going to change the top tier to weeks, but I don't want it to be shown with this label. I'm going to go down and choose to show it as week 1, week 2 from start. And there it is there. It shows you week numbers. Now I'm also wanting those week numbers to be centered. So it centers the week numbers in the top tier. If I go the middle tier, I'll also center the week again that's shown as that label. And I'll click OK. And what you can see here is you've now got 3 tiers with the week at the beginning. Now if I go back to the beginning of this project, you'll eventually see the project begins in week 1. Anything else is week -1. So this is a common thing where people like to see the first week, the second week, the third week of the project. You can completely customize the time scale. So we can't actually start this project technically on the Monday because of the public holiday, but we'll just stay with that for now and show you how this works. Now obviously my autosave is kicked in, 10 minutes has passed, which we saw under the options, and it's asking me if I wish to save. At this point I'll just go no, and we'll be saving it shortly. So be aware that you can also customize the timescale. I'd like to save this project now, but I don't want to save it as a project file, I want to save it as a template. For this I'm going to click my Save As button that I added to my Quick Access toolbar. But if you didn't add it, you can go File, Save As. It's just a bit of a walk. So I'm going to click the Save As button, and ultimately I end up here. And Project wants to know what do I want to save it as. So I'm going to save it to my desktop, and I'm not going to save it as a project, which is an MPP file. I'm going to save it as a project template, which is the third one down, which is an MPT file. And I'm going to give this project a name that describes that it's a template. So I'm just going to call it the Standard Maintenance Contract. Standard Maintenance Contract. It actually remembers I've done this before. So it's saving this file as a Standard Maintenance Contract. It's going to be a project template, and it's going to put it on the desktop. And I'm actually going to overwrite the one that I created earlier. So I just click Save and yes to overwrite it. Now this window then pops up and asks, would you like to add some additional things to your template, like fixed costs, like resource rates? We haven't actually addressed these yet, so just click the Save button. So I've now created a template, and I can see that at the top of my screen. This is the Standard Maintenance Contract template. So an MPP file is a Microsoft Project Plan. An MPT file is a Microsoft Project Template. You may not actually see those MPP and MPT showing, but that's the difference. Now I do see I've got two tasks here. I'd like to highlight row 1 and 2 just by dragging down, and I'm just going to press the delete key to get rid of those. I don't want those in my template, and I'm just going to save my template just by hitting the save button. So I've updated my template. Now to close my template, I'm just going to go File, Close, and to use my template, I'm actually going to go to Shared. When I go File, New, or when I are in this screen, these are all the templates that come with projects. So these are what Microsoft have made, and you might find these really, really useful. So have a look at the templates that project comes with. But I'm going to go to Shared, and I'm going to use my project file. In fact, you don't go to Shared because I didn't share it, you just go Open. If I go Open, I can open up my template, and here it is here. This is my Standard Maintenance Contract. Now you can also notice I've pinned it. There's a little pin when I rest on it. I can click that and I can unpin it and it drops. But if I click the pin, it goes to the top, and it will always remain at the top of the list of files. So this is a really useful thing if you need to quickly find a particular template. Pin it so it's at the top of the list and never drops off the list. So you go File, you go Open, and you just choose the Maintenance Contract. It immediately creates a project file based on that template. So when you go to save, it won't save it as a template, it will save it as a Microsoft Project MPP file. And so then I want to save this to my desktop, and I don't want to call it Standard Maintenance Contract. I actually want to give it a name that reflects the type of contract this is. This is for the year 2017, this is for the month of March, and this is for the client Bushy Park. So think about how you name your projects as well. We tend to, first of all, give them a year, so it sorts them by year. All my 2017s are together, my 2018s together. Then it sorts them by month, so all my March ones are together. Then it sorts it by client, alphabetically. So this has created a Microsoft Project Plan based on my template called Bushy Park March 2017, and I'm saving it to my desktop, so I'll go Save. Because this Microsoft project file is based on the template, I know that the calendar is already set up. So I can see it already knows I don't work Sunday, and it's already got the public holidays in. And it's already set up ready for me to go. So definitely consider creating templates to save you time, and we'll look at this as we go along. And some organizations have a variety of templates. You might walk into a builder, for example, and if you want that colonial house, then they'll open up the colonial template. But if you want that contemporary house, they'll open up the contemporary template. They'll simply save it as your name change the start date, and add some variations. So create templates. Now, just for your information, it is possible to password protect the file in case it is commercially sensitive. To do this, you would simply go into Save As, you would simply go into the Tools button, into General Options, and you'll be able to password protect the file. It is case sensitive, and don't forget the password, but it means that you can apply a password and people won't be able to open the file unless they know the password. Or if you choose this password option, they will be able to open it and look at it and print it, but they won't be able to change it without the password. So you can do that. Also, if you need to email the file, feel that you can easily email me if you ever get stuck. You simply go into File and go into Share, and you simply email it and send it as an attachment. And so if you have problems, you could send it to me, Cathi, C-A-T-H-I, @extra.co.nz, or to any of your colleagues. So there are some options in there regarding password protecting and emailing a file. But definitely consider creating templates.